Welcome to the Kingdom. I'm Chris, and this is Good Enough Gaming. Okay, welcome to the Kingdom, everybody. Today we have a special treat. I have a special guest with me, Scott from Let's Talk Tabletop.
Hello.
And he is going to introduce me and all of us to Brutality, the game that he's been developing. How long did you start working on it?
Oh, 2016 was the beginning of development.
Okay, so we're almost at a decade of this game being in development. We talked about it during the podcast. I can't remember if the podcast is going to post before this video, but either way, you'll get to hear him talk about it, and now he's going to demo a game for me. We might actually get two in if we're lucky here. So the scenario, what's our narrative that's being forged here?
Well, briefly, in the Ether Realm, Ishtar, the goddess of love and war, death and rebirth, brings people from different dimensions, either sci-fi, fantasy, anything you want, to go into the realm, and they have to fight in her honor, etc., to get her favor. So today I've got my Predators from the Predator franchise that will be fighting your Song of Ice and
Game of Thrones, yeah, Song of Ice and Fire.
So, and we're going to be fighting over resources, so they've got our resources here.
Alrighty, so there's the scenario. It's almost like a universal competition of sorts. Everyone gets pulled in and they fight and we're fighting in a forest setting. Wanted to go nice and neutral so that we have both fantasy or sci-fi can still fit in nicely here. But let's go over the armies, and then we will take a look at the scenario specifics, the mission, and then we'll get started. So first, they have a team name, or are they just the Predators?
They're just the Predators.
They're just the Predators. Okay, what are we looking at here?
So I don't give them names. I'm not good with naming Yalcha or whatever their race is called. So we've got two guns is the Shredder. He's got two guns right here.
Aptly named.
Yeah, we've got the female Crouching, which is an assassin. And we've got, I messed that up. He's actually two guns. This is Green Gun. So this is Green Gun. This is two guns. And then we've got Spear, which makes sense. And then we have Gray, who is the youngest. He's only a basic melee. He's not upgraded like the others.
Okay, so assassin type, shooty type.
So
what's their battlefield role?
Oh, okay. So the Spearman strikes first in melee. Okay. You actually have one of those as well because he's a fighter upgrade.
Okay.
This two guns is a shredder, so every time he does a wound chart roll, he does 2 wound chart rolls. He really shreds you.
Okay.
This guy has explosive ordnance, the same as your catapult.
Okay.
And when he hits something, it hits everything in a hole.
Okay.
In a circle. And then she does some immediate wound chart damage against you before blows are even struck in melee. So she's super fast.
I see.
Yep.
Okay. So those are the Predators. Science fiction from another planet, from another time. And they are going to go against the best that Westeros has to offer. So let's go take a look at those. And here we have a warband of the soldiers of Westeros. Now, I don't think I've broken any... I'm going to have to think. I don't know which army warbands these are from. I could be mixing Stark and Lannister here. My apologies for you hardcore Game of Thrones fans if I am. My Bannerman's the hero. Oh, okay, so he's the hero. So he's got the hero. You said he offers like an aura kind of
he
buff.
Can make them reroll hits or run and things like that.
Okay. Then next to him, the guy with the halberd, he's actually going to be running as a spear warrior.
Yes, which is a fighter just like my spear guy.
Like the spear guy. Front, blowing on the horn, is a barbarian berserker. So my guess is he's just hardcore melee.
He gets extra attacks for every enemy within 6 inches. So he wants to get in.
He wants to go charging in. Okay, cool. Then a catapult, folks. How often do you get to bring a catapult in a skirmish game?
And that's an ordnance, just like my Predator that explodes the ordnance.
And we're going to have the gentleman in the pink tabard there is going to be the one operating the catapult. Then next to the guy in the pink, the other guy with the sword and shield, that is going to be my man-at-arms.
He's a basic fast.
Basic fast
so he's
guy.
your objective capper.
Okay. So there they are. We'll get over to the map itself. We'll take a look at the objectives, and then Scott will explain the nitty-gritties of the mission parameters. So I'm just going to pan back and forth while Scott explains the mission here.
All right, well, we're fighting in the forest over these 4 resources. They will scatter before the first game turn, so we can try to line up on them, but they may scatter away from us. And the predators, of course, are always out for blood, but they also want these relics or these resources. And if we critically fail any of these objective rolls anytime during the game, swarms of tiny creatures can attack the person activating it, or we have a Mutaleth Vortex Beast that might come in from a table edge and wreak havoc.
All right. So we haven't even started. I love that idea of you place the objectives, but then they randomly scatter. So that way, I don't know about you, whenever I set up games, there's always this problem of I want to make sure the terrain looks good and it's kind of random, but you never want to stack it so one side isn't advantage. Same thing with objectives. And so the idea of you place them on this line so that at the start it is balanced, it is equal, and then fate determines if someone gets an advantage or not.
Or Ishtar determines.
Or Ishtar, sorry. And then you said we have, was it 6-inch deployment zones?
Well, we're ignoring the first 6 inches because this is a 4-foot mat, and Brutality is played on a 3x3.
Okay.
So ignore the first 6, and then the deployment's 10.
Oh, okay. So
10 each.
We start like, what, 20 inches away from each other?
Yeah, pretty close.
Okay, that's why it's called Brutality, folks. I've been told stuff's going to die really quick. So we'll get to moving the objectives, we'll get to deployment or however that works, and then we'll get to the first activations. All right, so we are now deployed and we've done our fancy objective moves. So we'll explain how we did that. So first the deployment, pretty standard. We've got you had 10-inch deployment zone, and because we both have artillery, Scott said don't put your guys too close together. So we did. So there's his, spread out nice and evenly. Then back here, we've got the knights. I had a great big pond, so I'm kind of trying to work around that. But we've got the knight or the halberdier in the forest here, barbarian up front, so on and so forth. So explain how the objective moving works, because that's a really cool mechanic.
Okay, so like this one, when I rolled this dice, it rolled a 1 and went that way. So the point, it moved only 1 inch. Whereas this one, we rolled, 5 inches or 6 inches, something like that, in this direction, where the dice actually pointed to the direction and the number of inches that it scatters.
And yeah, so as you can see now, we have 2 objectives, which are side by side, and that's completely kosher. There's none of this must be within 6 inches.
Nope.
And so one person can now shut down holding 2 objectives from the other side.
Yep.
So Scott got 2 moving closer to him. I got 1 that moved a bit closer to me, and then the wagon it's broken down. That's why I didn't move very far. All right, first activation.
All right, I'm going to go with my assassin. Normally you'd have to go over or up over this, but she's got flight/agile, and a 10-inch movement. So she's going to move right here. Where do you want me to roll the dice? Straight on there?
Yeah, anywhere in there we can see it.
So I want a 2 through 9. Got a 6. That's 1 victory point, and her activation's over.
Okay, and now I would not be able to do the same because you are within 6 inches of that objective.
Yes, if you're within 6 inches in line of sight of an enemy, you can't activate an objective.
Of line of sight?
In line of sight.
Okay, so someone could cap the objective that's in the building because she can't. Oh, West, those
She's
have windows.
crouching, so you actually could not see her through the window.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. And one good turn deserves another, so I'm going to have the man-at-arms up here move up to take that objective, but we'll see. Let me zoom out a bit. If the dice like me.
Yep.
That's a 9.
That's a point.
That's a good one. All right, aliens responding.
All
Or
right.
predators, not aliens. Well, they are aliens, but you get it. Semantics.
All right, so my leader here is the Shredder. I'm going to move up just a few inches so that I can see his basic melee through here, and he's within range. You are completely out in the open. There's nothing obscuring you whatsoever. What is your dexterity for the basic man-at-arms?
Dexterity for the man-at-arms is a 6.
Okay, so I need 7 or higher to shoot at him, but I'm actually going to use my free action to aim.
Okay.
And that's going to give me, usually that's done in the movement phase.
Okay.
I moved and I'm free actioning to aim.
Okay.
So it gives me +2 to my roll. So
All right,
instead
so
of a 7 or higher, I need a 5 or higher
5 or
to
higher.
hit you.
With 2 shots. And everyone gets 2 shots?
2 shots, yep.
Okay.
So 1 hit and 1 did not. And so you've got 1 save to make.
1 save. And saving throw is a 3. Does anything...
3 or less.
3 or less?
Yep.
Oh, I'm used to seeing a 3 up and being like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. A 1 and a 5.
Well,
okay.
that's a critical save. That counts as 2. But remember, I did only hit you once.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Whoops.
So that would have saved them both had I hit you once. Hey, you still
2.
saved it.
I'll take it 2. I'll take it. Okay, make hay while the sun shines. So this guy here can move 8, so we'll have him. And how close do you have to be to
Base contact?
Base contact. I thought, if there's the aura connect, stand in the forest to get cover, but still hold it. But no, you got to be touching it.
Yep.
Alrighty.
2 through 9.
1.
Remember, you have faith. You can reroll that.
So my army-wide rule is once per game I can do that, or is it just
No,
whenever?
every time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's your constant.
That dice is in.
There you
7.
go.
Okay, so 2 points for Westeros.
All right, I'm really concerned about his berserker over there, so I'm actually going to move my fighter over here behind this wall, and he's getting ready to set up a counter charge when the berserker gets in the neighborhood. And that's his activation.
Okay, it's time I start doing some attacking. So I've moved up the catapult here up to 6 inches, but I still stayed out of range of this guy so that I can't get, aura hit here. And then I do have line of sight down the lane there to hit the assassin. And we measured, and the assassin is actually within 6 inches of 2 guns. So I'm going to aim and then shoot. So that's 2 dice. Yes?
Free action to aim.
Free action
your
to
command
aim.
token. Yeah.
So catapult.
So you have to beat my dex.
And your dex is?
So my dex is 6, so it's a 7 or higher.
And then the
and
aim?
Aiming is +2, so
Okay.
5 or higher.
5 or higher. Let's see how I do.
Now, is your icon re-rolling hits? Or
Yes.
What is it? Okay.
Yeah, we did. So my bannerman will play us a song, and then we all re-roll hits.
Okay, so you don't need it though. You hit both times.
7 and 9.
Okay, now can you tell me if I believe I'm less than 50% covered by terrain from your, I think I'm less than.
Yeah, you're from like your knee and your wrist.
Okay, so that gives me +1 to my save. My save is 3, and I've been hit twice, so
Okay.
it's a 4 now. But the ordnance gives me a -1 naturally.
Okay.
So those are 2 fails. So that I'm down to 1 hit point, and that also means because he's an ordnance, this also hit him twice, which means I have to make a save of 5, but -1 because of ordnance. That's a 4 or less. I saved both of those.
Okay.
With a 2 and a 3. Now let's see if the other guy is within 6 inches. Oh, he is.
He is?
Just barely. Now he's going to be getting full cover though.
Yeah, because he's behind the wall
yeah,
there.
so spear's a 3, he becomes a 5 because of full cover, and -1 for ordnance is a 4 or less. And he took 2 damage. Oh no.
Well, it is called brutality.
Shrapnel everywhere.
So I got a lucky shot.
Now, each one of those wounds gets a wound chart roll. So 2 for her and 2 for him. You'll probably use crushing, I think. There's piercing, crushing, or burning. You choose what the type of damage.
Okay. All right, so I have to choose the kind of damage I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So crushing just seems to make sense. 2 dice, you said?
1 for every damage, yeah.
1 for each damage,
That's rough.
and then any kind of modifying, nothing, or you just roll it?
Well, your icon could have modified it.
But I
or-
chose the
yeah.
re-roll for the modifier. Okay, so here we go. What am I doing? 2 3s. So that
threes.
says broken hand, -1 fighting skill, broken hand, -1
So
fighting
now she's
skill.
got -2 fight skill.
So I broke both her hands.
Yup.
It's not very good for an assassin. I forgot I didn't just hit the assassin. I also hit the guy behind the wall.
Yeah, so just 2 wound chart rolls, crushing. A 10 is an extra damage.
9, so that
kills
him?
Yes, and that's a victory point.
Oh, okay.
Ouch.
So, so far MVP is most definitely
And-
the catapult.
Yeah, and the 9 would have, you can either broke his armor or broke his weapon. That's trauma. So that would have been rough either way.
Your game gives players trauma.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about that? Okay, so good. I mean, I'm happy. Now we'll move over. We got a power play going on for all you hockey fans.
So I'm just going to move my basic melee to the outside of the wall and try to stage a charging area for next turn.
So my movement's a little limited because I've moved up this big long line of troops, and if I move my commander up too close, he'll create the same kind of daisy chain effect that I just used against Scott. So we'll have him move into the forest there. He's still staying 6 inches away, and now he can activate his 2, what are they officially
Powers.
called? Just powers for being the hero. So one is teleport. I can move a character, and then the second one is aura, which was...
It's basically whipping him into a frenzy. Makes him better in close combat.
Okay. So, and I can use both of them?
Yes, all your powers.
So then this guy will go Super Saiyan, but I got to take a willpower check.
for each
so
one.
willpower of 8. So here is for the extra move, the teleport. That's a 9, so he doesn't.
So that's a fail. Yeah.
Anything, any penalties?
No,
Just-
if it were a 10, you take damage.
Okay.
But plus, you would have wanted to do the aura first because you'll be teleporting him out of your power range, probably.
Ah, okay. So
we can just say that was the aura.
that was the aura, and now here's the teleport. That one makes.
Yes.
So on a 7. So he gets a...
So you can move him 8 inches with flight and agile, or 16 inches, but the 16 inches potentially he tumbles and takes a crushing damage chart roll. So
He runs too fast and
Yes.
trips over his shoelaces. I mean, he's a berserker because he doesn't take cover. He berserks. All right, so he's up there, and that doesn't count as his activation. He
Nope.
just got a little bit of a buff. All right,
Yep.
back over to the Predators. Go ahead and summarize what you that big long thought process you just explained.
So he's got a movement of 8. In my movement phase, I have no line of sight to anybody. If I hit the berserker, I'm also going to hit my assassin. So I don't want to do
there's
that.
brutality for you folks. For those of you who played the old 40K when it still had templates,
Yes.
it hits whatever's under the template.
I moved here in my movement phase. I still cannot see that guy behind the cart. So I'm going to run in my combat phase instead of shooting. I get another 8 inches. It's up to your movement.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to move over here. There you go. That puts me close enough.
Okay, so now I think we have all activated.
Not your berserker.
Oh, my berserker! He's moved, but he hasn't activated. Well, he's gonna berserk. That's what berserkers do. So we'll just keep it on running. So he gets to move his 8 inches.
Yep. Now you can't ever end a move within 2 inches
Unless I'm charging him.
unless you're charging.
So let's do that. Let's see if we can knock off that last wound.
So you got to stay outside of 2 inches and then roll to charge.
Oh, I see. Okay, so
You
there's
need a
the
2 up.
Oh, folks, anyone who's been watching the channel knows this is the moment. Okay,
Oh,
I made it this
all
time.
right.
The number, it's just pass or fail. It's not if you pass on a certain amount.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, there are abilities that trigger that, but you don't
But not
have
the dice roll.
Do
Okay.
you have tackle with your berserker?
Do
See
I
if-
have
under
tackle?
model
Yes, I
ability.
do.
Oh, so then you do. You will get one wound chart roll beforehand. Remember the aura I
Oh,
told you about?
yes.
This is a mini aura because you charge so well. But another thing is you get extra attacks for every enemy within 6 inches. So you rolled 9 inches. You're not going to get the rear arc benefit for it, but you will get the extra attack for him.
Okay.
And then I have to turn to face you. So you can go the full amount that you charged.
Okay.
You would have to start the charge fully in the rear arc to get the rear arc benefit. But at least in this case, you're close enough
I'm
to
getting
get
that. Okay, so now that Scott's, of course, giving me a lot of grace here on what would be more tactically sound. So let's pick what would be more. Ooh, burning has a lot of nothings.
Yeah, but burning potentially does extra damage. But if it doesn't look narrative for him, like if he had something that caused fire, that would
Right.
make more sense.
Yeah, so let's do crushing. I mean, he's a big burly man. He's going to go in and crush on a 5.
5, what is that?
5 crushing is bludgeon, -2 willpower.
-2, so he hit her right in the head, and at the same time, she's an assassin, so she gets 2 on him. I'm going to do piercing because she's got knives and claws.
And then she had the penalty. That's already because her 2 hands were broken. Does that affect?
That's going to affect her hitting in melee.
hitting in melee,
But
okay.
this is her assassin ability. So
Ah,
she gets
okay.
two wound chart rolls of a 6 and a 5, -2 fight skill to you, and -2 movement.
Well, I'm already in the midst of you, so the movement's not too bad. But the fight skill that's going to hurt.
Yes.
Okay, so now what happens?
So now your base number of attacks for Berserker is 1.
Right.
You get an extra 1 for charging,
Okay.
and then you get an extra 1 for every enemy within 6 inches, which is 2 enemies. And you get to roll equal or within your fight skill, which is now
unfortunately
worse.
you just reduced.
Yes.
To a 4. So I got to roll under a 4.
Yep.
Oh,
It was a 6 or
okay.
less.
It was a 6. Come on. There's a 1 and a 3.
Okay, that's a critical hit. That counts as 2.
So 3
So you-
hits.
3 hits, yep.
And then
Now, we fight at the same time, strike
Okay.
at the same time. So I'm going to save these, but if she dies, I still get to strike
you still
back.
get to hit back. Okay.
Yep, and she's a save of 3. She failed them all terribly.
3 9s, folks. On a
Yes.
10-sided dice, 3 9s.
Yep.
Someone tell us the statistical probability.
So that is a victory point for you. You're going to kill her, but she
Okay,
does get
but
to strike
she can
back.
hit back.
She'd normally be hitting on a 7, but you broke her hand, so she's a 5 or less, and I did hit.
You did hit.
Yep.
So I got a save on a barbarian is a 3.
3 or less.
8.
Nope.
So he's going to take a hit as well.
And then I'm going to do a piercing wound chart on her. on him because I did a damage to him. A 7 is blinded, I think.
Yes.
That's going to ruin your next turn, which is excellent for me.
Okay.
You're going to be blinded for your next activation.
All right. So, so there's the hit, the save, the wound. Why was it that when you failed the 3 saves, you said she's automatically dead, but I didn't have to roll anything on wound?
Because the wound affects your stats or gives you a condition. Well, if she's dead, then...
Okay, so once you deduct the unsaved rolls, if that doesn't kill them, then you check.
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was if the save went through, you then, or the save didn't go through, then you rolled the save.
I mean, you could have narratively to see that you gave her bleeding and all that, but
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
You deduct
so-
the points, and then with what's left.
did you score your point for killing her?
I did not, so I'm up to...
And he took 1 damage, so
He
he's
did.
down to 2. So his next activation, he can only perform move actions. He can't charge, he can't do powers, he can't cap that objective.
He's basically now standing in the middle of your entire
For one
army.
turn.
For 1 turn.
Yes.
He's got to try and survive.
So she cut him right in the eye at the last minute.
Okay, do you have anything left?
No, that's it.
No, that's it. And that's it for me. So, first turn summary. I mean, it's called Brutality for a reason. 2 of the Predators have been removed. The Berserker's not looking too hot. We have objectives being capped. At least the wagon has been. And the Predators did get the relic over there. No one has seemed to go for the one in the building there. And then the Knight captured the radio tower. Probably going, what the heck is this? So that's it. We move on to turn 2. Do we roll off to see who goes first?
It depends on who's lost the most models.
Okay.
And if it's a tie, we roll off. But clearly, you're mopping the floor with me, so I get to
you'll get to
activate
go first. So that glorious charge from the Berserker, it was fantastic, but it's put him in a really bad situation.
Yes, so I am fully in your rear 180 arc for this Berserker, this guy is. So that means that I'm going to be getting +2 to shoot him. It would also give me +2 fight skill if we were in melee. But I'm also going to sit still and aim, which gives me another +2. So what is his dexterity?
His dexterity is a whopping 6.
So I need 7 or higher, but I'm getting +4 to my roll. So I'm getting 3 or higher.
Okay.
Okay, I'm doing 2 hits now.
My mighty 3 save.
But you know, a 1 could save you.
So I won't get one of those.
What's your save? 3?
Yeah.
Oh, so he's
4
dead.
and a 5. He dead.
All right.
He
that's a good
dead.
point.
Well, I mean, I suppose he did a Berserker. He went charging in, he killed stuff, and then he exploded. I mean, that's the nature of the beast.
That's what they do.
Now, you shot, so he's just kind of sitting there now, blowing the smoke off the barrel.
I do have a command token, so I could run up, but I couldn't activate it because you only have 1 command token.
I
So
see.
I'm gonna hold off and wait for someone else to use that.
All right, first activation for Westeros. We'll have the leader here move up so that he's more in range to buff the entire army, because we've left that poor knight out on the side all on his lonesome. So let's have him move roughly to there, but now...
But his R is 12 inches. So.
His aura is 12.
Yeah.
And he's out of 6 out of 6. So
Yep.
he's back forward. He's giving those 2 guys reroll hits. And
He's got his 2 powers, teleport and aura.
we will have him try and teleport the catapult.
Which, of course, if he were using magic, he'd be lifting them up telekinesis-wise.
Right.
But he's issuing orders.
Say he's
so
shouting, get that thing
Yeah.
moving. All right. So willpower of him is an 8. And he hasn't had any penalties or anything.
Oh,
That's
that
a
deals
critical
damage to him. Yes.
He shouted too loud and had that moment where you feel that tickle in your throat.
So that's a damage to him.
He's a junior officer, clearly.
All right, and then you get your other power if you wanted to do it, aura.
Okay, then he'll shout that at the halberdier. 4.
And he got
So
that.
that goes off. All right, so that movement of mine did come with a slight cost.
So my ordnance is going to fire at your icon. What is the dexterity of your icon?
It is 4.
4. So a supporter always worse dex than everyone else. So 5 or higher, but I'm aiming, so I'm getting 3 or higher.
Both
and
hits.
I got them both.
Okay.
Now this, you're not getting cover. I already checked.
Right.
And ordnance gives you a -1 to your save.
So normally I'm saving on a 4+, so now I'm saving on a 3, and if I don't save at least one of these, he's gone.
3 or less, yeah.
Nope, 4 and an 8.
Okay, well he's actually, as an icon, he's got 4 hit points.
Oh.
So he's actually got 1 left.
Oh, so I've been doing it wrong. Okay, so he is down to 1 wound now.
Now, unfortunately, you planned well, and no one else got hit in the blast from the ordnance, but I do get 2 wound chart rolls.
Wound chart rolls.
Now,
okay.
I'm going to use crushing because an ordnance is like a, like
Right.
yeah. So I'm going to do
blast
crushing.
a rock.
And an
8.
8 is confusion.
Yep.
And what's a 5?
Bludgeon -2 willpower. Ooh, that's not good for him.
That's not. He got hit in the head.
And then confusion. What's confusion?
So when he activates next turn, he has to pass a willpower check, or he wanders around and loses his turn.
Okay, a derp test.
Yeah.
Got it. So I've decided, let's answer with artillery. So I've moved him up. Now that has put him within the danger zone here. But since Scott's already gone with his artillery guy, I'm hoping next turn to move one of these guys out of reach. But he is going to take a shot down at your, that's your leader? That's your
2
hero
guns,
down there?
Yep.
So I can use my command token to have him aim.
Yes.
And then he already has reroll hits because he's within 12 of the hero.
Yes.
Okay.
So my dexterity is 6. You need a 7 or higher, but it's a 5 or higher because of aiming, and you can reroll it.
Ooh, 3 and a 6.
Okay, reroll the 3.
8 and a 6.
All right, 2 hits. Now, I can't tell if I'm getting cover. Oh, I will be getting
Yes.
partial cover
Yes.
at least. All right, 2 hits. My save is 5, and partial cover is a 6. Saved them both.
Made both.
Oh, you know what? No, it's not.
Oh, because of it's artillery.
Yes, -1, so I actually do take a damage.
Okay, so the 6 saves, but the 2 doesn't. That doesn't kill you, so I need to roll on...
Probably a crushing.
yeah.
Yeah.
8 on crushing.
Confusion.
You are now confused.
Oh, no.
All right.
The melee guy would love to go charge your man-at-arms, but he's going to go for the easy money instead and activate that objective. And
That's a 5.
I got it. All right,
You got
that's
it.
a point.
So I thought, as Scott confirmed, according to the rules, he can just sit there like at a slot machine and just keep pulling to see if he wins the big one. But these aren't called slot machine games. These are war games. So what I want to do is move him up, and we're going to try and charge onto that guy that just moved into the building. He's the man-at-arms.
Yep, he's a fast, so
Oh, so he's got 10, but he has to stop
2 inches away.
2 inches away. I need
A 2 up.
2 up.
charge.
That's just a flat.
Because you're 2 inches away and you got
Oh, you got to make the
Yeah.
distance. Got it. 7.
You got in.
So we're in.
Okay, neither one of us strike first or last, so we're going to strike at the same time. Your base 1 attack being a fast, but you get an extra 1 for the charge.
Okay.
I'm a melee, so I'm a base 2, and I'm not getting any extra.
So it's even.
Yep.
Even Steven.
So I'm a 6 or less. That's a crit. So 1 crit, but actually I have fangs and I've got fangs and teeth. So instead of counting that as 2, I can count that as 1 and give you a bleeding instead, which is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So it's 1 hit and a bleeding.
If I don't save, or even if I save?
No, even if you
If I save,
yep.
I still get bleeding. Okay, so first, do I save? Save of a 3. My goodness, my guys aren't very good saving. 6. So that doesn't make it.
So that's 1 damage.
1 damage
And a
plus
bleeding.
a bleed. And so he's now down to 2.
And of course we strike at the same time. So
Right. And then I hit you back. Your dexterity is
Well, you need to equal or less than your fight skill.
my fight skill. Oh, dexterity is when you're shooting. Got it. So 6. 6 and a 7.
1 hit.
1 hit.
My save is only a 3, and he failed.
No.
So that's the
And
damage.
then we'll do piercing. Makes sense because I got a sword.
You got a sword. Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm happy about that. Now, after combat resolves and neither one of us died, the defender has to move back to make the 2-inch spread.
Okay.
If I was in this corner and I couldn't move back, the attacker has to move back.
Okay.
But in this case, I do actually have an alleyway to move out.
Yes.
So I have to make the 2. So you've pushed me back. Now that includes pushing. You can push people off ledges that way and things like that.
See, that's one thing that a lot of games I think are missing, but add some dynamism, especially rank and flank games, that after a melee, who moves back? Usually it's the attacker, and I get that. You attack, you fail the attack, you bounce back. But I always like the idea that even if you don't wipe out them, you push them. So you're actually moving the front line backwards. So that's a very interesting change
And
there.
pushing them off ledges is extremely satisfying.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that from if you've ever played the Lord of the Rings strategy battle game. You can fight guys and you can push them off, and then they take fall damage and all that good stuff. All right, I could have sat behind with the halberdier and gotten another point from the objective, but the chance to shut down shooting was too tempting. So the move has got me to the riverbank, but now in order to charge, I have to make a roll of 5.
It's 5, yep.
It's 5.
You gotta be base contact.
That's a 5, okay. This may have been a mistake. 50-50 chance. It was a mistake. So
got stuck in the mud.
He did. Yep. The river was deeper than he thought. He went wading in, and he got stuck. So now he's out in the open in front of a shooty guy. Well done, sir. Well done. So end of turn 2, not quite as dynamic as turn 1. I lost a barbarian. We had objectives captured. Unfortunately, the Knights of Westeros tried to go on the offensive, and it didn't quite work out as well as they had hoped. Who goes first in turn 3?
Whoever lost the most. It's always whoever lost the most models.
Okay, so I lost a berserker.
I've lost 2.
So it's total. It's not that round.
No, it's for the game.
I see. So it will still be Predators going first, and I've given you like snacks within convenient reach there. All right, moving on to turn 3.
I'm in a pickle in several situations. The catapult's giving my leader some issue. I got this bearing down on me, but I'm really concerned about the fighter. So I'm going to move back my 8 inches. And I'm going to use my leader's command token to free action aim and shoot at him. What is your dex, sir?
5.
Okay, so 6 or higher becomes 4 or higher. So 2 hits, and it's -1 save, no cover.
Okay, save of 4 becomes a save of 3. Got one.
Oh, saved
Got
one.
one, but one goes through.
That's a damage, and the crushing is a 5.
And that was willpower. So he drops
-2 willpower?
2 wounds, or he's down to 2 wounds, and then -2 willpower.
Yep.
So now I've got a bit of a decision. I could use my catapult, like I said, move him up, but you've shot your blast guy, so I don't have to worry about the catapult not being within 6. So catapult into your leader, or press on with the melee guy going after the objective. I'm actually going to shoot at. Is your other soldier within 6 of the leader?
I think you pushed him in. Yep.
Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to have the catapult. He'll move up. Then he is going to shoot at your leader. So I'm going to shoot down the lane at your leader.
I don't think I get covered now. Oh.
And then using the command token to reroll he automatically rerolls hits, but using the command token to aim.
So instead of 7 ups, you need 5 ups.
Okay.
And I pray you roll badly. 1 miss, but you reroll them, unfortunately, for me. All right, 2 hits. So he's a 5, no cover, -1, so he's a 4. Saved 1, lost 1.
Okay.
Which means that you hit him twice as well. So this little guy is a 3 -1, so he's a 2. You killed him.
Ha! It worked. The plan worked.
Caught in the blast.
Can't see because that building's in the way. Sorry, folks. But the explosion of the rock did a little damage to the leader, but completely obliterated that other guy.
Now you get a crushing wound.
Crushing damage. What was it?
An 8. You double confused me now. That's twice.
Such a thing. So now
I got to pass 2 willpower checks.
For those of you who normally watch and see a lot of one-page rules, artillery in one-page rules is not very good. Most armies hits on a 5 on a 6-sided die. So it's like a lucky shot, whereas this guy, he's been doing the Lord's work for this whole game.
Yes, but I always say, people complain, oh, ordnance catches too many people, and every time you've caught me in the blast, it's my fault. with the exception of when you pushed me into it.
Right.
But every time it's me not measuring well enough,
Right.
and then I go, oh no. So
Yeah,
if
you can negate it.
Yes.
You just got to be careful with positioning. But all right, back to the Predators.
All right, he's double confused. He's my last person to activate. So I have to pass 2 willpower checks. He's a willpower of 6 or less. Failed them both. So that means I scatter D10 inches, 2 inches in the direction, and he loses his whole turn. That's rough.
And the confusion stays?
They stay until I pass them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not just brutal as in bloody, but it's brutal as in harsh.
We have had some games where someone gets confused in the first turn and just wanders the backfield.
They just wander
the rest
around.
of the game.
Wow.
Think of the guy like going to pick up his arm and Saving Private Ryan. You know,
Yes, he just
Yeah.
Wow. Now, I imagine most reviewers will actually get that reference, but for everybody else, that if you were born after 2000, might be a little bit before your time. Okay, since we're already here, we'll just tip this away so folks can see what's happening. I'm going to activate the, it's 1 point to cap that. How much health does he have left?
I only have 1 left.
Okay, and you said he's worth 2. So he's a Speedy Gonzalez.
So as soon as
He
he
moves,
activates,
he
because
loses
of the
a
bleed,
health.
He'll lose a health, and he keeps the bleeding.
He's down to 1. He is going to, for king and country, and we will try and charge. Okay, so charging distance, 9.
You got
So
it?
he's in. Boom. But then I actually got to try and get you. So it was 2 attacks if I remember from last time.
1 base and 1 for the charge.
And then men at arms, fight skill of 6.
So 2 6 or lesses.
Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. One hit.
Okay. See if you kill my leader, 5 or less.
No. Oh,
And
I
now-
had the chance.
My leader has the well-equipped ability because he's a predator. So normally he would not be doing wound chart rolls in melee. He
Okay.
just does a damage. But well-equipped allows him to do a wound chart
Okay.
in melee. So if I do hit
And so
this,
the confusion does not affect him in melee at all.
No. Now, some things in Mass Brutality do, but for the sake of balance, this is already such a brutal game that the status effects usually affect the start of your next turn, sort
Okay.
of thing. So in most cases, no, you always strike first. I mean,
Okay.
you always strike back. So he's got a 5 or less, and he did not make it.
Okay.
So now you move me back 2 inches.
And that's that. Ah, nuts. So it would have been better for me to have capped the objective. Instead, I took a wound and risked dying. Okay. So I still have a few more guys to go.
And I'm all done.
And you're all done. If at first you don't succeed. So my spearman is going to move up his 8, roughly get to the end of the island there. And then
Probably
that's
a 3. No,
No, it's a 4.
It's a 4.
All right, little better chance than last time, but come on, be a hero. There we go.
There you go.
So he made it this time.
All right.
Now, did this go away, the token?
No, it will go away when either the caster dies or when the caster activates again.
Okay.
And he has not yet activated this turn. So.
All right, so charging in there.
Well, first off, he gave him the order to be angry, right? Get
Yes.
angry. So he's doing 2 wound chart rolls on me before blows are struck.
And we'll do piercing because he's got himself a spear.
Yeah.
5 and a 7. So
7.
sliced minus 2 fighting skill and 7 blind.
Blinded. Now that's rough because we're on our last turn or are coming up last turn, so he won't be able to shoot next turn. He's
Huzzah.
blinded. Yeah.
Shut down. And then I have fangs and teeth, and that comes in how again?
If you roll a critical hit, instead of being 2, you can give me a bleeding token and a regular hit.
Okay.
Now you're a fighter, right?
Yes.
So fighters resolve their melee attacks before anybody else.
Okay. So 6 is 6 or under.
You should be
6
getting
or
1
under.
more for the charge as
And
well.
1 more for the charge, which is, I think I failed them both so far, haven't I?
So 1
So I
hit.
got 1 hit.
And green gun's a 4, and I failed.
Okay.
So that's a damage.
And
and you-
then a wound check on that as well?
Yep. Oh, extra
10,
damage.
Critical, 1 extra.
Ouch.
I'll take it.
All right, and then I've only 1 attack. You reduced my fight skill, so I'm only a 2 or less. And he crit hits.
Oh,
Now,
no.
by the way, he is also well armed, so this will be 2 damage, and they do wound chart rolls.
So unless I save, he dead.
Yep, 2.
He is a save of 4.
Saved
He
1,
makes
failed 1.
So he's down to 1.
And then I get a wound chart roll. Piercing, nothing.
Nothing.
Darn it.
Okay.
I really could have killed you there.
You could have killed me off.
So then you back me up 2 inches. All right.
And you don't have any other?
No.
Okay. So for my last, I need to try and secure some points. And oh no, he's confused.
Yeah, he's got to pass the willpower.
So I got to pass a willpower, which you reduce to a 6. 4.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh, he's good.
So you remove that token, he's good. See, they're good at clearing those confusions.
Now, the 6 won't get me there, so what?
So you can move 6, and then in the combat phase, instead of doing powers, or you can run a d10 more inches.
We'll do that. So he moves, and then he'll run an additional 6.
Yep.
So he's good. He's up there. And now it's a willpower check to see if I hold the objective? Or it's just a...
Well, it's an action.
It's an action.
And you don't have any more command tokens.
Oh, okay. So he's there, but he doesn't hold it.
Yep.
Darn it. My plan is crumbling all around me. So the knights have definitely put on a full court press, pushed the predators back to the river. We'll see what happens in the final turn. Is there any kind of potential that goes on, or is it after turn 4, it's done?
After turn 4, it's points.
Okay, yep. That's it. So moving on to turn 4. First activation.
It will be my leader. Okay. At the start of the game turn, I'm going to use one of my feats that are part of my stealth faction trait.
Okay.
And it says this game turn, nobody can declare a charge against him or target him with a ranged attack unless there were 6 inches or closer.
Okay.
So,
well, you don't have to worry about him. When he activates, he dies.
Yes.
He just dies.
But hopefully I will...
Yeah, I won't be able to kill you with my catapult.
Yes. Now, it would be excellent if I could pass both of these 60% rolls. Let's see, for the confusion. I passed one of them, but that doesn't help. I still scatter. So let's see where I scatter.
Oh, if you scatter towards me, that could be bad.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So I will...
9 inches forward.
So I will be running into the wall at least, but because of the way it was angled. But still, you will easily be within 6. But you're an ordnance, so you could hit yourself with the backsplash.
You know what, that'd be worth it. Now, I'm not sure how that works, how a catapult hits itself and its target. I could see the arm breaking, and that's why the catapult takes damage.
Well, if you're targeting
someone 10
feet away,
and then it comes back down.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do then is try and finish off what I started with your guy back there. So I just roll the charge.
Yep.
Alrighty.
2 or higher.
8.
You got it.
So he's in.
And you get your attacks first, which will likely kill me unless you roll badly or I roll really well.
So 3 attacks.
And what's his fight skill?
I think it was a 6. Yes, 6.
All right,
so
that's
2 hits.
2 hits. All I need is, so I need a 4 or less, but I really only need 1 It will save both of them. 4 or less, but I need a 1. No, he's dead.
No, he's dead. Okay.
And because you're a fighter, I don't get to strike back. You did your damage first.
Okay.
So that's a point.
So, I mean, that's it. Your other guy is already gone.
Yep.
So what I'll do is I'll activate that guy.
And he
bleeds to death. So catapult will hit himself, because if I back up to get out of range of hitting, I can't shoot because of the stealth. So 2 hits. I am within the 12, so I'll get...
Are you within 6 inches?
I may have to move up.
Yeah.
I may have to move up a bit. Boop. Problem solved.
He's just broken arrowing on himself.
Yeah. Still within 12 of the leader, so he'll reroll hits and then use the command point to allow him to aim.
Okay.
Every advantage possible. Don't mess it up. Your dexterity
is 6. So you need 7, but plus 2 is 5 ups. So you reroll the 4.
I'm always forgetting how sometimes you want to beat the number, sometimes you want to go under the number. That's a 6.
Okay, so 2 hits.
2 hits.
So essentially, just with ranged attacks, you want to beat their dex.
Beat their dex.
Willpower checks and melee attacks and saves are all equal or lower.
Okay.
So that's mostly it. But of course, you want to roll high to run. You want to roll high to charge.
Right.
2 hits. He is a save of 5. He'll be getting partial cover, which is a 6, but then you're -1, so he's 5s. Come on, a 1. Saved them both, though.
Oh.
Thank you.
But now I got to take 2 saves.
And now you got to take 2 saves at -1 save.
So 3s. Crit.
Oh.
1 and a 2.
I
saved them both, so I actually forgot to load. They like pull the catapult goes up. Wait, I thought you put the stone in. No, that was your job.
Another effect of having a inexperienced commander.
Yeah,
that's exactly
he's not even looking. Oh, fail, boss. So for my last activation, we'll have the commander seize an objective for another point. No, he won't.
Well, you've got faith, so you can roll it.
Believe. Okay, so this commander, he's just... he's getting demoted. He's going back into the ranks. That was pretty darn sad. Okay, so that's the end of turn 4.
Yeah, that's the end of the game.
It's all finished. So I've got 6 points.
I got 4. So, you
So
beat me
victory
64.
for Westeros. Medieval technology managed to take on. It's a very different kind of game. Like this is a down and very detailed skirmish. A lot of the skirmishing I've been playing up to this point has been one-page rules, which is just the full-size game on a smaller scale. But this feels more like a fully fleshed out skirmish game. You've got hitting, wounding, status updates. Like it's even though you only got 4 or 5 models, it feels like you have a lot more. Folks at the bottom, in the comments, what did you think of it? Have you played Brutality before? I'll put a link to the video down below, so if you guys want to check it out, it's available there. Any last words of wisdom, comments?
I'm just really happy I got to play with you. I appreciate you giving it a chance.
Okay, so for everybody else, keep your dice on the table. We'll see you on the next one.